The Philadelphia Flyers defeated the Minnesota Wild 7-5 at the Wells Fargo Center in a seesaw Saturday matinee yesterday. A big turning point of the game was Couturier's willingness to go to the net, and it paid off with his 3-goal game. He broke a 32-game goal drought and delivered a desperately needed win. A noticeable aspect of the Flyers' play in the first period, it had a good structure. Building on the team's play over the latter half of Wednesday's game in Washington, the Flyers had players moving to the net when possible despite a very low shot total. Fortunately, the Flyers scored on 2 of their 3 shots that reached the net. In the defensive zone, the Flyers did a nice job blocking shots and clogging the middle. A noticeable aspect of the Flyers' play in the first period, it had a good structure. Building on the team's play over the latter half of Wednesday's game in Washington, the Flyers had players moving to the net when possible despite a very low shot total. Fortunately, the Flyers scored on 2 of their 3 shots that reached the net. In the defensive zone, the Flyers did a nice job blocking shots and clogging the middle. Farabee was called for a high sticking minor at 14:55, putting the Wild on the game's first power play. Ersson made a couple good saves to protect the 2-0 lead. With 1:28 left in the period, Ersson stopped a boldy tip and swallowed up the rebound. First period shots on goal were 7-3 Wild. Scott Laughton was called for hooking 25 seconds into the second period. Minnesota got a 25-second 5-on-3 at the 2-minute mark on a Hathaway roughing penalty in front of the net. The Flyers got a big clear with Ersson having lost his stick. Laughton had a shorthanded scoring chance at 5-on-4 on a Canadiens feed. Offensively, the Flyers continued to generate too many one-and-done forays in the second period. After not having any shots on goal over the final 16:09 of the first period, it took until 5:24 of the second period on a long-range flip at the net by Tippett for the Flyers to be credited with their 4th shot of the game. Over 32 minutes of regulation, shots on goal were 14-4 Minnesota. Frost put up a potential point-blank chance through the crease on a play where an extra pass proved costly. Konechny's finish on the power play tally that made it 4-on-4 may have come off a friendly bounce from the end boards, but the Flyers winger displayed very soft hands. Even then, the momentum seesaw continued until very late in the game. Offensively, the Flyers continued to generate too many one-and-done forays in the second period. After not having any shots on goal over the final 16:09 of the first period, it took until 5:24 of the second period on a long-range flip at the net by Tippett for the Flyers to be credited with their 4th shot of the game. Over 32 minutes of regulation, shots on goal were 14-4 Minnesota. Frost put up a potential point-blank chance through the crease on a play where an extra pass proved costly. Konechny's finish on the power play tally that made it 4-on-4 may have come off a friendly bounce from the end boards, but the Flyers winger displayed very soft hands. Even then, the momentum seesaw continued until very late in the game. Let's quickly discuss the F Troop, which includes Joel Farabee, Morgan Frost, and Tyson Forrester. Farabee collected points in each of the first 3 games. He's slumped a bit since then and also seen his time go down. He's kicked himself over a couple of point-blank chances that he didn't pot for goals. The same thing has happened with Frost the last 2 games in particular, and is clearly pressing right now. He's also a bit banged up. Frost racked up 3 power play assists, including a nice primary assist on a Mitch Cobb one-timer in the season's first 3 games, plus a shooting-winning goal in the opener in Vancouver. Since then, it's been nothing but a wave of frustration for Frost. His minus 12 is more a matter of the team being hemmed in the defensive zone much, plus being out for 2 opposing empty net goals apiece against Calgary and Washington, than skirting defensive responsibility. On Saturday, Tortorella used him only for a third period power play, and then benched him the rest of the game. Forrester, who scored the season's first goal in the opener in Vancouver, has been putting a lot of pressure on himself to snap back into his rookie form from last year. Tortorella even made him a healthy scratch for a game. First time since opening night of the 2023-24 season in Columbus. The Flyers need to get all three of these players back on their top respective games. I'd like to see Tortorella let them do it together. Playing Ryan Poehling and Garnet Hathaway top six type shifts solves nothing in the bigger picture. Owen Tippett's seeing eye goal from a non-scoring area on Wednesday in Washington was a very important play. Even though the Flyers lost the game, Tippett's relief was palpable, and in the game plus he's been able to relax a bit and get back to just playing. He also got a couple more notches on the score sheet with a pair of secondary assists in the Minnesota game. It would not surprise me if Tippett has a breakout game on Sunday. 3 reasons. 1. He's had a considerable individual success against Montreal in his Flyer career to date. He's seemed on the cusp of a breakthrough a couple times prior to the goal in Washington. And 3. Tippett's combination of size and speed makes him well suited to provide what the Flyers need to build off Saturday's win. In tomorrow's blog, I will address Bobby Brink. Brink has been a healthy scratch in each of the Flyers' last 2 games. It could be 3 in a row if the Flyers carry the same 12 forwards on Sunday from Saturday's afternoon win. The Flyers take on the Montreal Canadiens tonight at 7 o'clock at the Wells Fargo Center. Canadiens are having a tough time this season as well. They're ranked 8th overall in the Atlantic Division with a 3-4-1 record, posting 7 points. Leading scorers so far this season are Nick Suzuki with 9 points, Cole Caulfield with 8 points, Mike Matheson, a defenseman, with 7 points, Slavkovsky with 6 points, and Hudson with 5 points. Cole Caulfield has the most goals on the club with 7. Between the pipes, we have Sam Montembeault, who will most likely get the start tonight. He has 3 wins and a 2.94 goals against average. The Flyers improved their record to 2-5-1, but still only have 5 points and are last place in the Metropolitan Division. Maybe they can beat the Canadiens and get tied up with Pittsburgh and Columbus. As far as scoring goes, Konechny finds himself leading the team, tied with Michkov with 9 points. Konechny is a -6 and Michkov is a -5. In third place we have Couturier with 6 points, Tippett with 5, and Scott Lawton with 4. On the Flyers goaltending front, we'll see who will get the start tonight in the back-to-back effort. Maybe we'll see Ivan Fedotov in net. Sammy Ersson is leading the team with a 2-2-1 record and a 3.56 goals against average. We'll see if Fedotov can improve his stats if he gets the start tonight.